Chattle.
Yaddle, Chattle, a Star Wars podcast hosted by yours truly, Darth David, and with me as always,
Jedi
Jared. I got a brand new toy. Can you tell?
Oh, yes, I can.
I got a brand new special effects item. The people at ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, would be proud of my special effect.
Hello, I'm Darth David. I'm very evil. Sometimes I open chips improperly. I don't open the bag evenly, I just rip it open, and then 48 hours later the chips are stale. That's how much of a Sith I am. Stale chips. The attack by the Jedi has left me deformed, but my resolve has never been stronger. As a result, we shall reorganize the Republic into the first ever galactic empire for a more secure society.
Oh, that's a pretty good. Okay, all right, that's it. Actually, this is Stanley's. Hello. Okay. When we do the wrestling.
Yes.
I mean, well, we actually do a wrestling show, and we use the same setup. It's the same studio. So really, when the Yaddle Chattle fans are watching us, if you really want a peek into the magic of the Eastside David Son Wrestling Show, or the Davey Max Sports Program, or Davey Max Area 51, many different projects coming at you, fast and furious, from the Davey Max Studios right here, Jared. Huh? What do you think?
I know, all the way down in was it Spring Lake, Wall, New Jersey.
That's right, the Monmouth County, Jersey Shore area. Bring it on. I brought up ILM because I watched all 6 episodes of Light and Magic, the Industrial Light and Magic documentary series, Jared.
I just started it this morning.
And we're going to talk about... You just started it this morning.
Yes.
Now the show's been out since Wednesday.
Okay.
And I know you just to remind all the Yaddle Chattle fans out there, Jedi Jared just had a baby. This is going to be probably the last time that I give you any applause.
Okay.
I'll mention it.
Thank you.
But you had a baby last week. And we discussed it. Everyone, all the Yaddle Chattle heads, they were extremely excited for you.
Thank you, everybody.
Most of them said, I don't give a fuck, get back to work. Most of them had a Coke Logic opinion of who gives a shit if you had a brand new human form. Just a smaller version of you.
She really
come onto the planet Earth when you're missing Yaddle Chattle. People like Coke Logic question your entire work ethic and your loyalty to Yaddle Chattle because you missed a week due to the birth of my baby. My birth of my child. I'm gonna have a baby. Let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you.
When you work on Yaddle Chattle, you think of nothing else but Yaddle Chattle, sir. Because anything else, any type of commitment is an attack on Yaddle Chattle, and the attack on Yaddle Chattle is...
Okay, you get it.
I understand. I missed a week, therefore I fucked up. Okay. Got it loud and clear.
But
I will try not to have any more children.
This week, there are no goddamn excuses for you not having seen all 6 episodes of Light Magic, the ILM docuseries.
I'm hoping to be able to...
I watched them all.
Congratulations.
I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning. Now, here's the thing. It's not like I got nowhere to go. What do I do in the morning, Jedi Jared? Why don't you tell all the Yaddle Chattle fans what Darth David does? So maybe people get a little sympathy to Darth David every once in a while. And people don't think Darth David's always such a fucking awful person.
Darth David co-hosts a morning show on The Rat here in the Jersey Shore.
WR18 95.9 The Rat. We just got our book, our spring book. And guess who had the biggest numbers in 3 years? Boom! Me! Number 1 in the morning in Monmouth and Ocean counties. That's a listenership of potentially 1.8 million people. Guess who's number 1? WRAT, Davey Mack, 95.9 FM in the morning. Boom! So I take my morning radio job pretty goddamn seriously. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree.
And yet, I got up at 4:30 this morning
So
to
did
go to
I.
my job,
I got up at 4:30 this
but
morning.
I stayed up till 1:30 last night
That's
to
insane.
finish
That's crazy talk.
Light Magic. I knew we were going to have a Yaddle Chattle episode, and I wanted to discuss.
Well, we've got plenty of other things we could discuss.
What episode did you watch?
I started watching the first episode.
You finished that one, at least.
Almost.
Oh! You didn't even finish the first
I
episode?
had physical therapy. What do you want from me?
Who starts an episode of Star Wars and doesn't finish? That's almost a totally... That is a foreign concept to me. Foreign.
I will tell you someone that does. Someone that has ADD. But I don't have
If
ADD.
you're going to throw your wife Padme under the bus after she gave a birth to a child...
I'm not throwing my wife under the bus. I haven't had the opportunity to sit down and watch it. I was looking forward to perhaps this weekend doing it. But there were quite a number of takeaways that I had from the
Ooh!
bit I did watch of it.
Well, then I'm excited to hear that. I watched all 6 episodes, and I loved it. First of all, I have always been somewhat obsessed with Dennis Muren and Phil Tippett. And Phil Tippett these days has a very David Letterman kind of crazy, I'm bald up here, but massive beard down here, hair down there. We found out he's bipolar and he's got all kind of weird personality stuff. I mean, not weird in a bad way. Like, you know, he's got different kind of things going on, but he's a genius. Dennis Muren's a genius. But I also thought it was interesting as it went on because, it started literally as a Star Wars company.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the whole thing was George Lucas looked around Hollywood in 1975 and saw that there were no visual effects companies. Literally. No visual effects companies existed in 1975. Companies that just did special effects. So he said, well, I have to invent my own for Star Wars. That's amazing.
Well, you see, I think it's very much a credit to that whole time period in filmmaking where, like, you have who I call the USC 4. So it's Lucas. Spielberg, was it De Palma, and my favorite.
They were all friends. Coppola was friends.
Coppola was friends.
Scorsese,
but
friends.
John Milius was the other fourth.
John Milius,
He was the
screenwriter
fourth.
of Apocalypse Now.
Yes.
Correct.
But those were the USC 4. But wasn't Coppola a Corman kid?
Yeah. Yes.
So there's that whole Corman kid.
Sure.
Ron Howard was a Corman kid.
Yeah.
James Cameron was a Corman
Yeah.
kid.
True.
So there's this kind of SoCal rogue film school going on with American International, and by proxy, Spielberg and Lucas and those guys were a part of that, like almost on the peripheral, because wasn't Lucas an intern for Coppola's film company?
I don't think so. I can't say intern. I believe
They were friends, right?
I think it was he and Coppola started American Zoetrope together.
So
I mean, Coppola had more of a leverage, I believe,
Well,
because
because
he had a little more standing.
well, because he did The Godfather in 71 and 72.
Well, our timeline is getting a little hazy. It might not, because remember, I think THX comes out in 71. And that doesn't do so well. That may have been the thing that put American Zoetrope slightly behind. However, American Graffiti came out in 73. Now, I don't know if that was produced by American Zoetrope. I think it was. I know Universal had something to do with it. But the point is, we're getting lost here.
No, I'm going to get back to the point, is that all of that synergy that came from like the late 60s, early 70s is very similar to the way that they started Industrial Light and Magic. It was all of these kind of like
no question
rogue guys who wanted to make and work in film.
Yes.
But they weren't like the traditional studio type.
That was the 70s. The 70s was a time that younger people and the quote-unquote rogue people actually took over. That is what happened. And this is well documented. Look, I took no less than 20 film classes when I was at college. The only classes that I did well at, that I only got A's or above, were film classes. Now, you try fucking giving me... I took this one class called Old English. You know why? I thought we were going to get 40s. I thought we were going to sample malt liquor. No, the Old English class was literally a 75-year-old man who would read this actual form of Old English.
Like Chaucer?
Yes, but it sounds like the actual language has a Lord of the Rings elf type of thing.
Well,
where
yeah.
It's like, away. They throw away.
Yeah, because...
And go away. Ding away. And he would talk like this. And I have to tell you, I love the man. And I love the class. Because within 120 seconds, boom, lights out. I was dead asleep. F in the class. Spanish. I had an 8:30 Spanish class
geez, you weren't
on Friday morning.
You weren't making that.
I missed 36 classes. The teacher just says, just 0.0. Don't even worry about showing up for the final. You mathematically can't pass. Film classes, I did well. Point being, I know a thing or two. The 70s was the second golden age of film. The first golden age being considered around 1930 to 1945 because of color and but also the beginning of big time auteur directors.
Yes.
And things like that. Then too much of a big studio system. It got things out of whack. Pictures became soulless. And the movie industry as a whole took a dip in the 60s. And then around mid-late 60s, and that's why they say about 65 to 80, second golden age, because the young film students were taking over. Absolutely 100%. And so to your point, the USC 4, yes. They were all pretty amazing. But George Lucas, to create a company with these, ragtag types, John Dykstra was the guy who George Lucas pinned to head the company. And because you haven't seen it, the end of the episode, or episode 2, is going to be a spoiler, but fuck it. John Dykstra basically gets canned. George Lucas, can you imagine this? John Dykstra wins the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects. Him and a couple of others, but it was him.
Yeah.
He was the guy
was
with
the
his
top.
team. And when George decides, I need to actually make ILM now a real company, not just a ragtag thing, and I'm just simply getting the I'm filling out the paperwork for a company, but I'm going to make it a company. I'm going to get space and stuff like this. So he has the idea, I'm going to go up to North California, San Francisco, Marin County area, because this is a warehouse and it's, it looks like fucking Delta House in Animal House, for Christ's sakes.
No, I get that.
And when he does that, he does not invite John Dykstra. And hurt feelings.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And what's cool is then you're like, oh man, so he's got hurt feelings. But then the young guy, like a couple of the young guys who George loved, like Dennis Muren and Phil Tippett, right? Phil Tippett's a young guy too, and he's all excited. But then years later, he becomes a little bit of the guy because the young guys were the ones who. So in ILM, Phil Tippett was going to make Spielberg already had it in production for the movie to be made with stop motion, which is when you have a dinosaur and they move them and you press record and you do that. You move them a little bit. The classic, King Kong movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And this was going to be like Phil Tippett's, greatest project of all time.
Oh, I remember watching a separate documentary about that.
And two guys basically behind his back
fucked him over.
And made him in the computers.
Yes.
And said because the computers will look better, and they did look better. But listen, we're getting way away from Star Wars.
No, I understand. I just wanted to say, like, that was the Joe Johnston, right? Who did Rocketeer. And
Joe Johnston was there as well. And Joe Johnston, director of Captain America.
He's such an underrated director.
He is. He's good.
Rocketeer was a great movie, and the first Captain America movie was one of the best Marvel movies they made.
I love the first Captain America movie. I think it's great. He's one of those guys, Joe Johnston, it reminds me of, he's like an American Peter Weir. Who all Peter Weir does is make great movies, and yet no one knows
that's true.
Who Peter Weir is or what his movies are. Well, Peter Weir did Dead Poets Society, which was nominated for Best Picture. Witness, which was nominated for Best Picture. Fearless. Jeff Bridges. Airplane Crashes. Amazing. Rosie Perez was actually nominated for an Academy Award. He did the Russell Crowe movie where he's in the water. Master and Commander. Amazing. He did Truman Show with Jim Carrey. That's all the Peter Weir stuff. But Joe Johnston, yeah, Star Wars. And then from there became a director after his ILM help.
Yeah, I don't think he gets enough, like...
He is awesome.
He's awesome.
But this series, this ILM series, you must see.
I will. I'm going to watch it. I'll watch it, relax. I'll probably have some more takeaways about that, too.
Why didn't you watch it last night? Why didn't you stay up till 1:30 in the morning and watching it?
I don't want to get into it because I'm got to feed a fucking baby, dude. I know it's been a while since you've had to feed a baby, but like they eat all the time, and my baby was having a really bad reaction to one of the formulas we were giving her.
Oh no!
So,
baby, okay?
Oh yeah, she's
baby
great.
Healthy.
Oh, she's great.
Leia.
Yes, little Leia.
Leia Fishman?
Leia Fishman, yes.
Yeah? I want to play something for you.
Okay.
And this is, well, what can I tell you?
It's a pretty fucking big
More proof that Yaddle Chattle has totally taken over. It's taken over the galaxy. I was going to say it's taken over the world, but I think not. I think I'm going to go as big as the galaxy. It has taken over the galaxy. Let's be honest. There ain't no new Star Wars podcasts that are creating any buzz. Most Star Wars podcasts that are big time have been established for like 5 to 10 years. Yes. Like the room to now in the year 2022 to begin a Star Wars podcast. The audacity of Yaddle Chattle. But see, that's what Yaddle Chattle does. You understand? Yaddle Chattle takes risks. Yaddle Chattle does the unexpected. Everyone said, who needs a new Star Wars podcast? Yaddleheads do! All you Yaddleheads at home. We do this for you, babies. That's who we do it for. And let's be honest, you can't get a Star Wars show anywhere on the internet like this.
No, this is...
Most Star Wars shows are like this.
Did you hear? Disney Plus is putting out a new cartoon, Mike.
Oh, yeah, Peter? Sounds good.
Well, that'll be it for us on the Star Wars podcast. We'll give you new information next week.
I like your Grapes of Wrath voice.
That's what they sound like. I know. About 6-7 years ago, I went into my little iTunes and I had the idea of, and this is sad that in only 2014 I had this idea, but this is the truth. I had the idea, hey, I wonder if I go into iTunes, into the podcast section, and put like a topic I'm interested in like the search bar, if like podcasts will come up with that podcast topic. So I put in Star Wars. And it worked! Can you imagine? I honestly did not know that you could search for podcasts based on topic.
A topic? Okay.
Until like 2014 or 15. Nonetheless, when I did it, I was looking for a Star Wars podcast, and that's the majority of them. The one that I liked, that I still listen to, happened to also be the #1 Star Wars podcast in the world, Rebel Force Radio.
Yes.
And I don't just say that because they are. They statistically are. By the numbers, no Star Wars show is bigger.
There's no official, like, Star Wars podcast, but, like, this would be, like, the closest thing to it, right?
Right. In some ways. No, I mean, it's just the biggest Star Wars podcast. How about that? All right, that's what it is. Official, unofficial, they do the biggest numbers. So anytime you get something, hold this for a second.
Sure.
Because I'm going to play you folks some audio. And this audio is actually going to be Rebel Force Radio. The voices you are about to hear are first Jimmy Mack and then Jason Swank as Jimmy Mack, out of nowhere, just brings up Yaddle Chattle. I want you to listen to this.
Make out the action's fast.
Yeah,
it's a little
it's
bit blurry, but we see a lot of saber.
They're talking about, I guess, different trailers and action figures or something like that. And I believe Jimmy might spot Yaddle.
Battling. We see a lot of force powers. We got a ship flying past.
A lot of rapid fire stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that definitely does feel Clone Wars like, though.
Oh,
as
yeah,
far as
sure
the
does.
animation,
Here's more of those guys in the helmets.
Well, hopefully I got the right time, and I probably did.
Podcast.
Hold on.
Yeah,
It's called Yaddle.
Oh, okay. Okay, here we go.
I'm sure it is.
All right,
More
More
Dooku.
Rex. Dooku. Oh, Yaddle.
Here we go. Here's the clip.
Yaddle. Oh,
Okay,
my
sorry.
God.
Here's the clip. Here's the
Yaddle
clip.
finally getting some more love and screen time.
We're assuming that's Yaddle.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Here's Jimmy Mack.
Bring on the Yaddle. Hey, did you know that Eastside Dave has a Star Wars podcast now?
I saw that over the weekend.
It's called Yaddle Chattle. And I think that's the best damn name for a podcast I've ever heard.
Yaddle Chat.
Yaddle
That's a
Chattle.
deep cut, man.
So
Boom. Come on. Come on.
Hold on.
So now, not only because dude, they actually wrote on our Instagram that they love the name Yaddle Chattle.
It's a great name.
And they wrote that it was the greatest podcast name of all time. And I'm like, well, that's a nice thing to do. To go to someone's podcast page and, because everyone knows the Rebel Force Radio is huge.
Yeah.
And for them to comment, that's a great name. I'm like, well, that's good for you guys. Thank you. Not expecting Yaddle Chattle. So I'm driving around with my kids yesterday, believe it or not, just driving around. And I'm like actually bragging to my kids and I'm going, hey, you guys, Rebel Force Radio commented on our picture on Instagram. They wrote that they love our name. And my daughter's like, really? That's cool. And I'm like, yeah, it's amazing. And I'm like, hold on. I think they're talking about, holy cow. So now it almost felt like, I said, my kids thought I was setting them up. They refused to believe that I did it organically. It was a total coincidence. Totally. I'm just driving around and I'm listening to Rebel Force because this happens. Hold on, I should tell the Yaddle Chattle fans out there in case you're listening to Rebel Force Radio. It's on the episode that says, will the Star Wars original trilogy get remade? That's July 22nd episode, and it happens with about 12 minutes to go in the show. So in other words, about 1:57 into the show. So you had to listen to the whole Rebel Force Radio, which I did. And then you realize I got a podcast to shout out. Bam! We
got a shout out. But they mentioned.
How do you feel?
I think that's like, thank you, Jimmy and Jason, for the shout out.
It's about time you thank them for something. Why don't you thank them for all the good things they've done for you throughout the years? Didn't they give you a box of Little Debbie cupcakes? One point?
I think they might have done that for you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was me.
They've had you on the
Jimmy
show. You and Jimmy
Mac.
have a great relationship.
I want to thank Jimmy Mac for the Little Debbie Cosmic Cupcakes. I got those a few years ago because they had a send in a picture of yourself with your best Star Wars slogan, and we'll choose the winner for the week. And the winner got the Little Debbie Cupcakes. Boom. Who was the winner? Boom. Were you the winner?
No.
No, you weren't. Was Darth David the winner? Who was the winner? Darth David or Jedi Jared? Who won?
I guess Dave wins again.
Well, who was the winner?
Darth David.
Darth David!
Okay.
Darth David was the winner. No.
This doesn't seem like a Jedi type instrument, does it?
It literally looks like a lightsaber.
It's a voice thing.
It looks
Darth
like
Vader.
It looks.
Sith.
It looks like a Jedi lightsaber.
No.
It does.
Siths are weird with voice. Jedis are normal. Luke is normal. Obi-Wan's normal. They all have normal voice. If I put here's the deal. Here's how I do it. This way I have no hands. Now I'm really Vader. If I go out like this, Jared. Oh, but then the bottom of it you can't hear, huh? Hello. All right.
It's not on.
It's not on. All right.
So we discussed.
Oh, listen. No, this is the important part, Jared. This is the important part. Larry Kasdan, Lawrence Kasdan, famous Hollywood screenwriter.
I love him.
Oh, he's fun. He's fun. You know, he's fantastic. Co-wrote, obviously, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So he's a big deal. He also co-wrote and/or wrote screenplays for Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade. He's very in the George Lucas, Steven Spielberg universe.
Do you know what a very underrated movie is that he wrote and directed?
What?
I Love You to Death.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
And
Underrated.
yes, and he has directed movies of his own.
Big Chill.
Big Chill being one of his biggest hits,
The
first
Bodyguard.
and foremost. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of necessarily Larry Kasdan, the director. He does good stuff, Big Chill and stuff. But his screenplays I love because it's just that perfect combination of something fun, something a little good one-liners. Larry Kasdan directed the ILM docuseries.
Oh, he did.
Were you aware of this?
I wasn't aware of that.
Why do I have a book if you're not going to be aware of things?
So that you could tell me about him.
Lawrence Kasdan. I call him Larry because, we have a special Star Wars relationship. We know each other. Hey, Larry, give me a call, muchacho. Okay, baby? This is how we talk in Hollywood.
Okay.
You're not from Hollywood. You're
No.
from New Jersey. Okay, you stay there.
That's fine with me.
Okay? Me, Larry Kasdan, Ron Howard, and Spielberg, we don't want you at our little luncheons where we sit there and talk about Marvel movies and we shit on DC and we have lots of laughs. But anyway, Lawrence Kasdan directed this thing, okay? And here's the deal. Because of this, someone asked him, Lawrence, we hate to ask you this question. Solo 2? What do you say? What do you say, you little piece of shit? Why don't you get off your ass and start crying that Lucasfilm and Disney fucked up the release of Solo, which they did, which is pretty much the only reason for its box office ineptitude.
Wasn't there production issues too, though?
Yeah, the directors got fired.
Yeah, the guys who did the first Lego movie were supposed to be the directors.
Lord and Miller.
And then they brought in Ron Howard.
Ron Howard to fix it up because Lawrence Kasdan, though, says that Lord and Miller were making this into an Ace Ventura movie where Han Solo was turning into, all righty then, that kind of shit. Yeah, like that kind of played out goofy ass shit. And Lawrence Kasdan's like, whoa. Han Solo's funny, but he's funny because he gets in himself over his head. He's funny because he gets into funny situations. But he's not, fucking Jim Carrey running around.
He's cool.
Yes. So these guys, they didn't get it. Ron Howard did. And Lawrence Kasdan thought the movie was good. Listen, I've told you this before. I like Solo. Bam! I thought Alden Ehrenreich did a great job. I even have it worked out that it's feasible that he's shorter than Harrison Ford. Because if this movie takes place 10 years before we meet Harrison Ford, my thing is His height. What happens when you're up in space? You grow a little bit. That's the truth. You stretch. So my thing is that by the time we see Harrison Ford or Han Solo in episode 4, he's 3 or 4 inches taller because it signifies how lonely he and Chewie have been, for 10 years. He's just been smuggling out in space, out on the Millennium Falcon. It's Chewie, it's Han. He's always in space. He's always flying somewhere. And it's a tough life. And because he's constantly on the move in the Millennium Falcon, he gets a little taller. I actually made logical sense. So the shortness had nothing to do with it.
I didn't realize there was an issue with him being short.
He's a good 4 inches smaller. Harrison Ford, for an actor, is considered big simply because he's 6 feet. Now, he's just 6 feet. But in movies, he might as well be a fucking giant.
That's huge, yeah.
And the Ironright kid seems like he's typical actor. 5'9", 5'8", somewhere around those lines.
Okay.
But people had a major issue with the shortness. I said, well, fuck it.
I mean, standing next to Chewbacca, everyone's short.
Yeah! What's not to love? I love Chewbacca. I love the origin story of the Millennium Falcon itself. That they took the brain of that droid and they put it into the Falcon, and now that droid lives in the Falcon. And so the Millennium Falcon is an actual kind of living character. That's a huge change that they made in Solo that I think works perfectly. Flash forward to episode 4, the Here They Come moment with Luke and Han shooting TIE fighters. And he goes, Han Solo goes, "Don't worry, baby, she'll hold together. Hear me, baby, hold together." He's talking to her like it's a girl. Or at least a female droid.
I get that.
And it wasn't just, guy talking to his car, I felt like. It was like, "Hear me, baby, hold together."
Well, that would make sense at the time when Lucas wrote it, because Lucas is a big car guy. So
I know, but what I'm saying is that Solo did a great job with that. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The Kessel Run, we have heard about forever. There are times where something can be too big. It can be too mythologized, quite frankly, that you can't pull it off. That it just looks small on screen. I thought the Kessel Run was pulled off brilliantly. I thought you couldn't have pulled off the Kessel Run any better. Because honestly, I still wasn't 100% sure of what the Kessel Run even was. I had an understanding. Millennium Falcon got from point A to point B faster than any other ship had ever done before. So I understood the concept, but I don't know what it looks like, what's going to happen, this, that. It was great! Well, listen to the music, the monsters, the anxiety, the drama. I'll tell you, Solo is a great movie, and I hope Larry Kasdan. And by the way, they asked him, "Would you be interested in Disney Plus series?" He said no. He said
Really?
he said no. He said I would be interested in Solo too.
Interesting.
Yes. No series for Larry.
Really?
He would be interested in Solo 2. Straight up said, if they said Solo 2, I'm in.
I wonder.
Talk to me. You're on the button.
No, I wonder why he would turn down the show when the shows are just on fire. Like, they haven't had a poorly received, really poorly received television show yet. And,
I agree.
Like, compared to...
He's old school. A lot of those old school guys have old school thoughts. I'm not sure if Larry Kasdan sees a TV series as something that... he might see it as below him. Oh, and again, God. That's not... I know. I understand what you're saying. I'm saying, especially after seeing this ILM doc, I think some of the old school 70s guys think like old school 70s guys. Not all of them. One of them, Dennis Murin, very adaptable. That's why he's still with ILM to this day. But a guy like Larry Kasdan, I don't know. He's a screenwriter. Maybe he just says, "Listen, I'm a prominent Hollywood screenwriter," which means I write movies, and I don't want to change forms.
Yeah, but
you're asking me to make a movie, I'll write you a fucking kick-ass movie.
A
show is 10 hours as opposed to 2.
Yeah, but you get to play in that that world that you create that he has helped create, and he can explore a lot more of the mythology that he helped, develop. I mean, everyone says that The Empire Strikes Back is probably the greatest Star Wars film of all time.
I know I say it!
I say it too.
Wait, you say it?
Yeah.
I'm putting my hand down immediately.
Well then, that's your problem.
Sith never is going to agree with the Jedi.
I mean...
Darth David can't agree with Jedi Jared. Ever!
A broken clock is right twice a day.
But then it's wrong the other 98 times.
So what? We can agree at least that Empire is the best Star Wars film. He wrote it, and he developed a lot of the, the concepts that would make Star Wars great.
I agree. I love Lawrence Kasdan, and I hope they make Solo too. And my hope is Disney Plus, stop blaming the original Solo on being whatever, a failure at the box office, a movie that wasn't well made, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. It was all Disney's fault. It was Lucasfilm's fault. They had no business putting that movie out 5 months after The Last Jedi. That made no sense. It didn't make sense at the time. And this is before The Last Jedi came out to, let's just say this, to put it lightly, mixed reviews. So the fact that Jedi came out to mixed reviews, 5 months later, people weren't ready for Solo. People were still hotly debating The Last Jedi. Just weren't ready. Don't understand why they even rushed it up anyway. It had been The Force Awakens in December, and then it had Rogue One in December, and then it was The Last Jedi in December, and then all of a sudden here's Solo in May? What? Why?
I think here's what
because they wanted to tap into the original May as a Star Wars month. But the point is, they hadn't, under the new era, December was the new Star Wars month, and we had all got acclimated to that.
I thought part of it also was because Last Jedi had come out to mixed reviews, that they were kind of using this as an opportunity as kind of like a palate cleanser, if you will.
And listen, if that's the case, that's still a bad move. You're still sinking. You're now using a good movie as a shield. That's still going to get shot. It's going to be banta fodder. Gosh. So I want Solo 2 to happen. I love Lawrence Kasdan. Before we leave, we need to do a Star Wars cage match because we always promise people. And then next week, Jedi Jared is going to come in with some Clone Wars talk. That's what you told me.
Oh, yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Why don't you try and sync it up?
Okay.
Like, in other words, this weekend, tell me what episodes you're on. Maybe I'll watch the same ones. Or if you think you're burning through season 5, you're up to season 4, right?
Yeah, I'm on season 4 right now.
If you can get to the end of season 5, I'd love to talk to you to talk about the last 4 episodes of season 5.
5?
I love those episodes so much.
Let me see what I gotta do, because now I gotta watch all of Light and Magic, so.
Yes, you do. Good point.
I have a cage match this week.
Thank you.
It is a dog fight between Poe Dameron.
Double thank you.
And Luke Skywalker.
Triple thank you. Oh! A dog fight!
Like, they're both in X-Wings. Who's gonna win?
Oh. Okay. Bleep, bloop, bleep, bleep, bloop.
Because Luke is...
Bleep, bloop, bloop, bleep, bleep, bloop. I'm going to give you an answer. That's my thinking
No,
noise.
I'm just saying, like, Poe is considered the best pilot in...
I know!
Okay, all right.
I know what their resumes are.
Okay, you got it.
Here's the thing. I like Poe Dameron. What a goddamn X-Wing pilot. Very talented. He's very talented. Just leave it at that. He's very talented. You could just leave it at that. But I'm sorry. You asked me to make a decision, I'm going to give it to you. It's Luke Skywalker. Why? Poe Dameron does amazing stuff and did some legendary stuff for what I witnessed in episode 7. That was really probably the best X-Wing piloting that he did. But Luke Skywalker was able to blow up the Death Star and avoid getting taken down by Darth Vader while blowing up the Death Star. Poe, big impact on that Starkiller base, but he wasn't running from Kylo Ren when he did it. See?
No.
Luke Skywalker for the win.
But he was facing down that dreadnought with both Hux and Kylo Ren.
That dreadnought was silly. That dreadnought not going to be able to kill an X-wing. You're asking for an elephant to kill a fly. Doesn't have the physical capacity
Sure it
to.
does.
No, it doesn't.
They've got
An elephant. Have you ever
stuff like
watched
that.
one special on National Geographic? I've never seen an elephant kill a fly one single time. They can't. How the fuck? What is he gonna do? Pick his goddamn leg up and go like this?
Yeah.
His leg is goddamn 3 tons. If he
uses
does that,
trunk.
he'll break his own shoulder.
He uses trunk.
No, that's not what happens. You don't use your trunk. You use your trunk to vacuum. The official scientific for that is vacuuming, blowing your nose, and if you're an elephant and you're musical, pretending that your trunk is a saxophone. Those are the only usages for the trunk on an elephant.
Okay.
There's no hitting things like flies.
Okay.
Will you give me why you think Luke Skywalker is going to win this cage match?
Well, no. You took Luke.
I'm sorry, Poe.
I'm just saying I think Poe is a better pilot because Luke's got to have to diversify all of his things, whereas Poe
Diversify?
Yeah.
What is this?
got-
Some sort of financial report over here?
No, but he's
Diversify?
spending less time. He has spent less time.
I
See,
got to
no,
talk to my stockbroker?
I'll give the
And make
fact
sure my
that
things are diversified? I got to you.
Luke has a lot of great natural
Hey.
ability as a pilot, but like as far as experience and time in flying an X-wing, Poe's got him dead to rights.
Poe's got Luke Skywalker dead to rights?
As far as experience as a pilot goes, way more experience than Luke Skywalker.
way more experience just
Yeah.
because he wasn't in the Rebels until he was a teenager doesn't mean he wasn't flying. They said in episode 4 he was a great pilot. You had Biggs
Yeah,
even
but-
say to the guy, Luke is the best pilot in the galaxy,
How
sir.
often do you really think Luke
The
got
guy's
off
like, you'll
world?
be all right. I love that scene that they added in. And do you know what I'm talking about? Go to Disney. If you don't go to listen, I watch my Star Wars these days through Disney Plus. And you have right before the attack on the run on the Death Star in Yavin, we finally get to see a scene that was deleted with Luke talking to Biggs.
Yeah.
Because we get to see Biggs in the Death Star, but now they and Luke's like, "Hey Biggs," and Biggs like, "It's gonna be just like old times, Luke." And then some fucking crotchety middle-aged guy who's got no business in the conversation just walks right between him, totally interrupts, and is like, "You think you can handle this thing?" And Biggs is like, "Sir, Luke is the best starfighter pilot in the galaxy." So they said it right there.
It's funny that they bring that up because you kind of get the impression in episode 4 that he really didn't really leave the farm.
Yeah,
Unless he went
actually,
to-
yeah.
like he makes a big deal about going to the Tashi station.
I don't think he left the planet. I think Luke was probably zipping and flying and scooting around that planet all the time. Anytime he gets his hands on a speeder, a moped, anything that moves.
I can see that, but
That's what they were talking about.
that's I would say that's vastly different than operating in the third dimension of space. I'm not taking away anything from Luke's piloting abilities. It's just maybe some plot holes there.
Jesus.
That's all.
Jedi Jared.
Yes.
That's your Jedi, people. Jedi Jared coming down and squashing Luke Skywalker. Saying Luke Skywalker, shitty pilot.
I'm just saying Poe Dameron's a better pilot.
Luke Skywalker, shitty pilot, according to Jedi Jared. Darth David thinks Luke Skywalker was a fantastic pilot. Again, why do I get all the dark side hate? Why? Because I yell at him?
No,
For
because
40 minutes every episode?
You're-
You don't think he deserves it? After saying some of the shit he just said, he just fucking basically said Luke Skywalker sucks!
I did not say that. Okay, I did not say that.
Everyone gives me the shit. You're the bad guy of the show.
Yeah, that's called playing the heel.
I don't play nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Listen, next week, Jedi Jared we are gonna break down Clone Wars.
Okay.
A little bit of Clone Wars.
Sure.
I would love you to get through season 5.
I'm trying.
Because I would love to talk about those last 4 episodes of Ahsoka. Plus, of season 5, but they feature Ahsoka. And then furthermore, you need to watch the end of the ILM series.
Okay, I'll do it.
I think in terms of talking points, the Clone Wars is more important, though.
Okay.
Just to let you know.
All right.
Well, that'll do it.
Okay. Well then, you should like and subscribe wherever podcasts are available. Yaddle Chattle under the Watchers feed. You can go to YouTube, Eastside Dave Country, or Eastside Dave TV, or EastsideDaveCountry.com.
That's it. He's Jedi Jared. I'm Darth David.